Hello and welcome to Vintage Crafty Arts. Today we are going to do a little paper play. So we're going to have some paper play time. So I have 3 embossing folders here. And if you notice, they are all the same except for the 3 different sizes. So we have the 3D texture fade embossing folder, and this is the Brickwork. All right, so this is the large A5 size, and A5 is, let's see, so A5 measures, so the folder size is 6 by 8.5 inches, and the design size is same, 6 by 8.5. So that is the Brickwork large. Next we have the Brickwork, same texture fade. The folder size is 4.5 by 6.5, and as you can see, this is very well loved. The design size says 6 1/4 by 4 1/4, so you're missing about 1/4 of an inch for the actual design. And then finally we have the texture fades mini, and the size here is, so the folder size is 2 7/8 by 4.5, and then the design size is 2 5/8 by 4. All right, so you're also missing about 1/4 of an inch. Okay, so I want to play with these because first of all, I love the Brickwork, but I have this stamp set from Stampers Anonymous, this very retro graffiti looking stamp set. So I want to play around and have a little fun to see what we come up with in the different sizes. Okay, so let's do it. Let's talk about some other materials that I'm going to use. So my papers, I'm going to use watercolor paper. It's a hot press, so it's a smooth watercolor. I'm going to use that for the large folder. So I'm going to use the Distress watercolor cardstock for the big size or the mid size Brickwork. For the mini, I am going to use this cardstock metallic. Okay, so those are my papers. So I'm going to use my jet black Stazon with the metallic cardstock, and I am going to use my Black Soot Archival Ink for the watercolor paper. Additionally, I am going to use my small cutter so that I can cut the paper to size. So let's get started. Now you may want to use a stamping platform, but I'm taking a chance that I get a good impression. Fingers crossed. I wish I would have used. Okay, so I decided to grab my stamp platform because I wasn't quite happy with my impressions. Now they'll work for the sake of the test that we're doing, but I want to see if I can make the bigger one just a little better. So we're gonna use our platform. Using a platform just gives you a little more ease. You don't want to waste your paper. You can always restamp, but there's cost associated with your paper. So if you have a stamp platform, use it. Then this hockey puck little thingy just helps to get smooth contact. The purpose of a stamp platform is that everything is in place. So if you want a better impression, you look here, we didn't get a good impression. So since everything is in the exact same place, you can go over it a second, a third, or as many times as you need to get an impression that you are happy with. Secondly, and I didn't say this before, but you want to use a waterproof ink because after you emboss your paper, we are going to color it because we don't want a plain white brick wall. And you want to make sure that your stamping does not come off once you start introducing your water-based colors. All right, so you see how that's better? So I'm going to focus more on the top of this retro because it's not showing up, but also it can be the style of the stamp as well. So let's look. Okay, so no, the stamp looks like it's a full black, so I'm gonna ink them all. It may be time for me to re-ink my ink pad. That can be a possibility too, because it gets a lot of use. So I'm just gonna put some muscle here to make sure, because I'm noticing it's the top of the stamp that's not quite making full contact. So okay, happy, I'm satisfied. The demonstration is actually using the embossing folders, and again, since our embossing folders are brick, I am stamping so that we can get the look of graffiti on a brick wall. I use the archival ink to kind of condition the stamps and get them ready for use, so it'll actually help it stamp a little better moving forward. But if I use these with other colors, this little discoloration, it shouldn't be a problem. Okay, so I am using my Sizzix Tim Holtz machine, and I actually purchased this machine when the larger folders came out because I wanted to. My other Big Shot, I don't think they probably did fit. I probably just wanted an excuse to buy something new. So we're going to just do a quick little spritz of the paper just to help it take on the new shape and just for it to moisturize the fibers in the paper. And again, this is another reason why we want to use waterproof paper, because we don't want the paper to spread. Okay, I am actually going to start with the small one because although this is waterproof, I just stamped it, so I'm going to give it a minute or so to dry. So we're going to move over to the small one. Okay, so I'm going to spritz. The front is coated, so all right, so we're just going to line this up. So if you notice, I want the raised side to come up on the top here. So if you can see, this is the emboss side and this is the deboss side. Okay, so I am going to make sure that we are face up on the, see, I don't know if it's embossed or debossed, so I don't want to use the wrong vernacular, but the raised side is going to be at the bottom because I wanted to push up through the side here. Okay, just going to close that. And again, this machine is large and overkill for this itty bitty embossing folder. However, I'm not going to bring out multiple machines because this is a little folder. And I'm going to move some stuff around. My desk is a little cramped and I'm not doing a great job at cleaning up. So I'm going to move some stuff out of the way because we need more room. If there are any makers who have suggestions about being neat while they create, let me know, because I feel like that might defeat the purpose. I will tell you, I would probably lose my creativity if I had to clean up. So I'm okay with the mess until I'm done. All right, so turn the machine on. You can't really see right here. And what I love about this one is it's automatic. So I just put this in, it goes. So I actually decided to do 2 passes only because we have this heavy metallic cardstock. So I wanted to make sure we got an impression. So you know what? We're going to unveil everything together at the end. So I'm not going to open this right now. We're going to see it together. All right. So I'm going to move that. And then now I'm going to move on to our mid-size. Where is my mid-size embossing folder? Okay, maybe you should be a little organized because, oh, here it is. I moved it along with the other stuff. Okay, so we're gonna do the same thing here. We're gonna take our water bottle. Any water bottle will work. I'm using the Distress sprayer, and as you see, this is well loved as well. I will link everything in the description. Please, if you decide to purchase anything, if you use my link, I will get some credit for you purchasing without any additional charge to you. So if you feel like you learned something from this video, you can support this work and ensure that I can continue doing this work by just using those links in the chat. Right, so I used to do multiple passes. However, I saw on a video recently from Mr. Tim Holtz himself that the multiple passes are not necessarily, and they can actually start warping your embossing folders. And I have many warped embossing folders. So I am going to go ahead and take his advice on that. All right, so we're gonna put the large one through. I'm moving this kind of back and forth on my desk because my camera is set up behind the machine, and I don't know if we would have room to go all the way through. So that's a little scary. Okay, we're playing, so I'm not gonna even, I'm tempted to send that through again because it sounded a little funky at the end, but I'm not gonna do that. We get what we get. We're gonna get what we're gonna get, and we are not gonna throw a fit. All right, so we're gonna unveil together. I'm so excited. If you're excited, can you make sure you hit like and follow? All right, let's do it. I'm gonna start with the little bitty. Let me make sure. Let's go down. Okay, so I like it, and we're going to do some more work on here because I've never seen a shiny brick wall. So we're gonna do some further distressing just to kind of bring everything out, but I like it. And instead of it being this way, since the stamps were so long, this, whatever I end up doing with this, is going to be landscape. Let's see, and just think, you can use any color ink. I chose black, but as I'm looking at it, I probably would have chosen even a brighter color just so it can pop a little more. All right, so we have like our street art on the card. And I didn't think about it. If you think about orientation too, this one is like the portrait, or the, what is it, landscape, or I think portrait, right? I think I like that better than this long orientation. I also like the words because, well, no, actually I like this because I'm like, I don't know if a graffiti artist is gonna actually, paint a whole image. I know most of the graffiti is pretty much the words, but I don't know. I like it. So this is step one. Now I wish I would have done this in white paper as well, just to have a better comparison. Let's see if we can get them all in the, all right. So, and you can also see like the size differences from the three, and this is the mini. So stay tuned because the next video will show me actually coloring and distressing the wall, the brick, so it can look more like a brick wall. So make sure you follow so that you can be alerted when that video goes up. Okay, thank you so much for joining me, and please continue to watch the videos that I put out so that you can learn, or so that you can craft along with me. Thanks so much, and I will see you in the next video. Vintage Crafty Arts out. I don't like that. I have to come up with an ending.